Hey there, chart friends. Lamont here from Chart Guys, checking in with the electric vehicle and wind sector. This is my third recording now because I live in New York City and there is someone out there who I swear they are just banging pots and pans. It's like two hollow metal sounds upon each other. It's clearly not a tool. Anyway, electric vehicles, here we go. Okay, so Tesla pulling back on the daily time frame. We are still just watching this tightening range, and I believe today hourly probably got oversold. So if we were looking for a higher low over 406.05, now is not a bad time to start doing some shopping. Anticipating this range to continue tightening. Let's see what the hourly time frame looked like. I had any orders triggered. Okay, so it just barely touched oversold. Just barely touched oversold, and it while it was testing the golden pocket here. Let's see. Yep, just barely hitting or hourly oversold. So I'm not terribly opposed to looking a little bit lower. You can see that multiple major low here, which is also where we've price found some resistance here. So this area in general is interesting to me for accumulation. Maybe perhaps a shelf might serve us better. I really would start getting oversold around there. Maybe something like that. Allow the hourly RSI to get extended again and enter all of this previous price action. Let me just see what it looks like here. Yeah, so that would pretty much cover all of these lows here. Tell it's a contentious area. Yeah, something like that is not bad. I think the RR is definitely suitable. Let's see if we were to scale in across, give it a little bit of wiggle room. Scale up for that potential daily higher low in these hourly oversold conditions. A little bit of wiggle for the stop. And we'd just be looking for a daily lower high. Yeah, we'd just be looking for daily lower high. So maybe we just use this top here. Just a pretty loose. It's a loose idea, so right away I know after setting that up that the RR is not great. It's 221, so I have options. I could choose to be more conservative here, and then that would lower my average and my RR would improve. Or I can move the whole thing down, lower my stop a little bit. I'm sorry, and raise my stop percentage-wise to improve that RR. So some flexibility here, but the foundation of this trade essentially is to scale into all of this price action here based off of hourly extension, knowing that we are looking for a potential daily higher low. So ideally what will happen tomorrow is bears just come out. Ideally there'll be like a bit of a higher open tomorrow, and then bears just come out and dump it into this zone of interest where we have all this price action support, potential support I should say, and just get that hourly RSI buried. That would be ideal. So Tesla bull trades for daily higher lows in play for the week. I don't know where the on came. All right, moving on to NIO. So NIO daily consolidation is underway after this big breakout off of an upgrade. I believe there was an upgrade there. And so now we are just coming down to look for a healthy higher low over 2117, and I don't even really love it as much as I like this pivot. It's just is a more meaningful pivot to me. 2060, but that being said, I do consider this a higher low. So we are just looking for a higher low over 2117. Ideally, we'll do our shopping in hourly oversold conditions. There was not yet a confirmed hourly downtrend, and so we're not confident yet that that daily top is set, although obviously the daily candle doesn't look good and it broke the previous candle's low. So yeah, but either way, for bears to have confidence that that daily high is set, they will want to hold this high here of 2820 and break 2722 to confirm that hourly downtrend. All right, so where can we start looking for a daily high or low? So obviously there's not a lot of price action support up here because we rushed up. But let's see, since we don't have any hard price action, maybe we can use our fibs. Maybe there is a trend line that we can utilize. This one perhaps. Again, this is just drawn off the closes. Just want to make sure all of those closes are included. All right, so maybe a potential zone of interest. See what that looks like on the hourly time frame. Okay, so we can see that the hourly would start getting extended by the 382 retracement. We know we have a little bit of price action history here. It's very, very slight. Very, very slight. And the bulk of it is actually a little bit higher there. So maybe you want to raise it up a bit. Okay, so a bit of an aggressive play because there's not a lot of price action history to create some structure around the trade, but I don't hate something like this. If the bears are able to push down right away, get that hourly extended, I don't mind. I don't mind a play like this. Daily higher low play, healthy daily higher low, and I think if we were to pull back just to that amount, just to the 50, that we can expect higher highs. So zooming out just to make sure that the trade looks like it makes sense on the time frame that I want to trade it on. So it's a daily play. I'm planning it on the hourly, but we're looking for a daily higher low. So while I draw everything out with my hourly RSI, I just want to make sure go out and zoom out to the daily. And is that a reasonable place? I think this is a fairly reasonable trade. So again, we're just looking for that healthy higher low. Ideally, we'll do so in hourly oversold conditions, which has yet to occur. And so we have that back burner trade, the first hourly oversold conditions after a big move up, typically good for at least a bounce play. Okay, so NKLA. KLA, bit of an odd bird in regards to the EV sector. How do I have this highlighted? Ah, okay. So I think this is probably like on one of these days, and it was probably in conjunction with this potential channel play. And so it was I believe at least that it was probably because these tops are very significant. So ideally the bulls will stay over these tops. I believe they are now below. Yeah, so you can see let me clean this up a little. So these levels were marked off because you can see that the price struggled to get over it many times before finally breaking above and back testing it successfully. So if the ideal situation for the bulls would have been a nice contained channel move into this zone of interest, grinding, and then a big move out. But instead what you had was a collapse through, and now they are struggling to get back and stay within it. So more bullish than most names, even though it had a nice strong open today. So we're just looking for a 4-hour lower high to be set against 2338. 2338 on the hourly time frame. The bulls have the potential to change the trend tomorrow. Ideally, what they'll want to do is hold 2018 and then break this EQ 2074 resistance, and then of course this high of day resistance 2179 to have the bulls be confident that that daily higher low is set. Basically, if they can change the hourly trend here from here, that's the ideal situation. And it's obviously in a really contentious area. So it would be a big deal for the bulls to get back over into this chop zone, so to speak. And I'm just going to leave this channel up because I bet you it comes back into play. I mean, it kind of already did there. But that's pretty much it. Bulls want to show up right away first thing tomorrow. Otherwise, bears can be top fishing. Well, I mean, either way, bears can be top fishing. This high of 2179 tomorrow. Ideally, they'll do so in 5-minute overbought conditions. Workhorse is just hanging out in this base over here, so very, very key level for Workhorse bulls to stay over. So very similar to the zone that I had marked off earlier. The reasoning is the same. They're trying to hold above this previous major close. So this was the major close, and ideally bulls will stay above this chop zone, right? Because obviously, if it's going to be marked up on longer time frames, it needs to stay above this zone. So on monthly chart, for example, if you want to see more upside on the monthly chart, then ideally we'll hold this low and then continue. Well, let's see if there's a better time. I guess just weekly, because this was the last weekly support. Whatever the case may be, the idea is that there's been a lot of price action here. We thought we were ready for markup, and now we're back testing these highs, and we must hold above these highs in order to mark up more. So I don't hate bottom fishing plays down here. The risk is it's very clear. Very, very clear. All right, so you have your trade set up like so. Bunch of range though. Something like that. And we just be looking to test the upper side of the range, and that's the R is definitely suitable for that. So, bit of an aggressive play, but not a bad one by any means. The risk is very clear. So, on the hourly time frame, see if this is starting to look edgy at all. Not really. But either way, a couple of converging trend lines to be mindful of. You can break bullish out of EQs, so we'll see how that goes. Ideally for the bulls, let's see. Currently, the hourly downtrend is intact. Let's see. At an EQ, yeah, I'd say that's a hourly downtrend. So essentially, what you had was you had this EQ hourly EQ and a little fake out, and then it broke bearish. So if you're oops. You can kind of consider this the trend change. Either way, what bulls will want to see ideally tomorrow is a hold of 2202 and a break of 2271 to change that hourly trend and be confident that this daily low has been set at 2177. The bearish plays, whenever we get some daily bounce, if there is some daily bounce, there will be of course bearish plays for a daily lower high against 3059, or we can always be top fishing this range. I wouldn't be surprised if we just start going sideways for a bit, just like here. So top fishing and bottom fishing, it's a little scary, I guess, if when you look at a chart like this. It's a bunch of red days and we're just kind of flat line going sideways. But another way to look at it is that we've had now, let's see, essentially 3 days of red days where we didn't really see that much follow through for the bears. So it's a trading, right? As long as your risk is managed, I guess you're good. Okay, so NEE on the daily time frame. I don't. Okay. All right, big red day. Really just sideways. So the bulls will take it. We got another close over this previous high here, so the bulls would take it. And even if they were to come down here, as long as we get closes above that previous close, that's the most important thing to me. So very quickly in the daily time frame, the bulls went down and tapped the daily 12 EMA. And now we saw some bounce, however, no follow through as of now. If we zoom into the hourly time frame, oh wow, so I don't guess that was great. I don't know. So excuse me. So they changed the hourly trend on Thursday and then saw a nice continuation day on Friday, broke to a higher high and then pulled off for the entire day. But this there was a good amount of buying though near those supports. So bottom fishing these supports where it was a good play. I not have it highlighted. I should have checked in on Sunday. I should. Whoops, I didn't read. All right, so for see what it looks like on the 5-minute time. They did change the trend, the 5 minute trend going into the end of the day, but did not see a lot of follow through. So tomorrow, ideally, what bulls will see is some follow through on this 5 minute trend change to get some bounce follow through on this hourly move to potentially make space for a higher low over 298.14. This is really key level of support tomorrow, 298.14. This is so much space that you would have anticipated a higher low. So bit of a red flag, all of this pullback, but good to see that there was some. Oh, that volume is after hours. That is questionable. That volume is questionable on the day. Much of it is this after hours volume that is likely just share settling from earlier in the day. Okay, so well, hold on a second. All right, so while we're range bound, I really just prefer top fishing and bottom fishing plays. So we can be bottom fishing these lows, we can do top fishing the highs. Ideally, because these are hourly pivots we're looking for, ideally we'll have 5 minute oversold conditions down here at support and 5 minute overbought conditions up here at resistance. I think that's everything. Alrighty. Right, so I think we're just watching this hourly channel basing above this previous price action levels. Let's see what that looks like on the 4 hour time frame. So maybe a bit of a head and shoulders starting to shape up here. Like that. Like so. Maybe. I don't love it. It's certainly not idealized, but either way, we're watching this hourly channel for now. This base of support has been good for our play over there. If we could get, so very similar, if we can get 5 minute oversold down to where this price action shelf is and near the bottom of this channel, I wouldn't be terribly opposed to positioning bullishly for Duke for the potential of more upside on this kind of flaggy pattern. It's kind of hard to see. Let me kind of flaggy. Still healthy. Still very healthy, trying to be confident in this daily higher low being set, but without a clear hourly trend change to ditch this kind of sideways choppy pattern, we can't be confident in that daily higher low. Alrighty, so I think that covers it. Thanks for tuning in, and I will see you all soon.